Business advisor, facilitator, author, speaker, change catalyst. These are but a few of the titles that describe our next speaker. He believes passionately in the power of clarity and aligning people to deliver. Your people are the only ones who can deliver your strategy. He has been enabling organizations to successfully instigate sustainable change for almost 30 years across the UK, Europe, the US, Asia, Australia, and the Middle East. What drives our next speaker is a burning desire to make a positive difference to the way that organizations work and the impact that they can have on customers, employees, and their shareholders. His remarkable wealth of experience includes acting as a senior advisor to the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, strategic strategy director for Zurich Global Life, a board member and director for Sesame, the UK's largest IFA network, and these are but a few. And then finally, to add to this, he has also flown jets in the Royal Australian Air Force, which he claims he did poorly, but I don't really believe that for a minute, Campbell. So please join me in welcoming Campbell McPherson, an accomplished, insightful, and acclaimed motivational speaker, and the author of a new business book published by Wiley called The Change Catalyst: Secrets to Successful and Sustainable Business Change. Campbell?
Thanks, Richard. Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, yes, it was entirely true. I was the worst, the record actually, of being the world's, Australia's worst pilot ever to make it through to jets. I could take off, I could fly around, but because I had to memorize the eye chart at the time, landings were always a little bit sudden and a little more unexpected than they should have been. Today's talk is about the inevitability of change. Change is inevitable. Successful change isn't. Put it this way, the companies you invest in, if they don't know how to lead change properly, if they don't know how to deliver the business case that they set out to achieve, then your investment will have been a waste of money. I'm really frightened about my job. So change is personal. And it doesn't matter how big the change is, how small the change is. It doesn't matter whether I've instigated it or it's been done to me. The most important thing is how we react to change is the important thing. And that can make all the difference. And we all go through this. You've probably seen this before. It's the Kubler-Ross change curve. But we all go through this. We start with shock. We go through to denial. We get angry. We get scared. We get depressed. And then finally, our logical part of us can start to take over and we start to understand with our head, we accept with our heart, and then we can move on. And every single one of us goes through this process. But as change leaders, we have to help our people go through this as well. Because if we don't do that, we are going to be one of the 88% of change initiatives that fail. So I'm going to take you through the top 10 reasons why change initiatives fail. The first thing is, we humans, we just don't like change, particularly in the business environment. We have this innate desire to just cling on to the status quo. It's probably because we think it's going to affect our back pocket. No, it's definitely because we think it's going to affect our back pocket. The first type of inertia is the challenge, the difficulty of moving from talk to action. And you've seen that in your organization, you've seen that in so many organizations. It's tough enough just to get to the planning stage, let alone actually do something. The second type of inertia is midterm inertia. And a change project I liken to a locomotive that is setting off down this track, and as it gathers momentum, nobody can stop it, nobody can halt it, nobody can slow it down, and certainly nobody can change its direction. But what needs to happen is you need to build in a pause for reflection along the way, because it is just normal that events happen and things need to change. You might need to slow that locomotion down, and it might need to be moving that way. And the third type was mentioned earlier today as well, and that's complacency. Complacency kills market leaders. And it's not because they're bad, it's not because they're stupid, it's not because they, like ostriches, got their head in the sand at all. It's a common phenomenon that if you are so successful doing things a certain way, it's awfully hard to change that juggernaut around and move it in a different direction. But complacency kills lots of organizations. Is that emotions trump logic every single time. We know that. We all think we're pretty logical in this room. And in this industry, we think we're very logical. We deal with big data. We deal with lots of data. We do lots of analysis. We're clever. We hire clever people. We hire clever, logical people. We're not logical. None of us are. Emotions actually rule our decisions. You can have a look at Brexit. You can have a look at Trump. But actually, you can just look at every single time we make a decision. It goes on what we call conviction, or what I used to call, before getting into investment management, gut feel belief. Find your change catalyst. So what is a change catalyst, I hear you ask? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a program manager, it's not a project manager. It's a business person with high IQ that actually can sit between the leaders and the employees and can be a trusted confidant of both. I've seen time and time again change initiatives that are very hot on process, very high on IQ, but they don't engage people, they don't have an EQ. And a change catalyst will actually deliver the outcomes. That's what their job is. You need a project manager, because they're the process guys, but you also need a change catalyst. In fact, you need both. One is the yin to the other one's yang.
Say thank you very much, Campbell McPherson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.